Hello, hello. So, we've opened up the Glaceon VSTAR, and I figured it's about time that we open up the Glaceon. Took me a little bit longer to find, but I found it at a shop, actually under MSRP, surprisingly, for $28 instead of the normal $30 that this is worth. I don't really know if this one is particularly worth it. For even 30, you do get 5 packs, and you do get the V and the V-Star, but unlike the Glaceon that has some uses, I've been hearing a lot more about the Glaceon not having that. Glaceon has that nice ability that lets you basically play boss's orders whenever you like, not having to get it from your hand, which is awesome. And it has a decent attack, same amount of damage as the Glaceon. But I know from the Glaceon standpoint, not having that and just having a secondary V-Star attack might not make it as useful. However, when this came out, we only had a Profusion Strike, and we do now have Brilliant Stars, which gives us access to a few other cards. So I figured, without me remembering entirely what this does, because nobody's talking about it, let's go through both of them, and let's take a look and see if they are viable in any sense now that we have more cards to work with. So, our Glaceon V that you get is, I believe, a brand new, and I'd assume like the Leafeon. You can search your deck for a water energy and attach it to this Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. That's actually not too bad if you're stuck going second. At least it gets your Glaceon built up. There's a pretty fair chance it'll get knocked out, but hey, it could at least get you a freebie if you can manage to skirt by with it. And then for 3 energy, Freezing Wind is nothing to write home about. But the thing you're probably going to try to get to anyway is the V-Star, which if you remember now, only is a 2-prize card, which is fantastic. V-Stars I really like as like a tech piece. I like that a lot of people are using them to complement your VMAX. Like, they're not exactly the forefront of the deck, but they are used to aid your other cards, which is cool because they do fit this weird little middle ground, which I was afraid they weren't going to do, but it seems like they are kind of fitting that niche. I think eventually they'll phase out VMAXs, but for now, they are kind of used as an in-between, with some VMAXs having stronger attacks and abilities. So, what does the V-Star do? During your opponent's next turn, defending Pokemon can't retreat, which is okay for 180 damage, and now with Choice Belt, you can up that to 210. If you use Zigzagoon or something along those lines, you could add some extra damage and scatter it around on the bench, which could be useful to get you those clean knockouts. Not too much gets knocked out with 210 in terms of Vs, or at least won't knock out every V, but it will knock out Mew V, which is kind of important. And then its Crystal Star ability does 220, which is better numbers for knocking out a Pokemon V. And during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage and effects or attacks done to this Pokemon. Okay. Alright, good. I thought this was like a prevent from basics, but the fact that this is prevent all damage done to this Pokemon is pretty good. The only way to get around this is to gust it out of the active spot. If you can't do that, or if you, basically if they have no boss or anything like escape rope or something to try to retreat it out of the active, they are stuck for a turn. You're going to get a second Icicle Shot hit, which is pretty good. And you have access to things like Melody to give it some support. Yeah, I like it. And especially as like a 2-prizer, that's not too bad. I guess the only downside is you can only use Crystal Star one time. Ooh, Jumbo looking nice. Oh, I love these little pop things in it. Pretty big fan of the V-Star setup, at least on these cards. They look a lot better than the VMAXs. I don't know what they were doing with these little wisps on the VMAXs. I get it's some sort of style, but I just really don't think it was working for me. And then you get your V-Star acrylic marker, which is kind of nice. Better than the ones they give you in the packs. And since this came out beforehand, you get your Fusion Strike, Evolving Skies, normal stuff. So yeah, I think this card seems a little better than people are giving it credit for. I don't know what else you could play it with in terms of Water-type Pokemon. Maybe Ice Rider? I don't know if that would build well with it, but I haven't seen anybody talking about or using it since the Brilliant Stars set came out. Hell, you can even use that with Arceus if you want. Then again, everything pairs with Arceus nowadays. So you can just kind of throw that in, use Arceus to accelerate your 3 energy. It's pretty much almost knocked out. Use Crystal Star to knock out your opponent, and then you're safe next turn for the most part, because now the opponent has to get their Pokemon set up, and they have to try to play around you and try to gust something else into the active if they even want to hit. And then your Glaceon's still on the bench. So I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool to see. I hope more people start making decks with that, or I might even try my hand at it. Okay, Tapu Fini is our first hit. Not too bad. I have not actually even looked at what this one does. Nothing really crazy. Oh, put energy. Oh, I thought it said put itself back into your hand. It's kind of neat. Then again, it's going to get knocked out quick anyway. Yeah, I guess that brings me to like the next kind of thing I want to talk about that I've been seeing a lot of people covering. Oh, could you get 2 evolving, 2 fusion? These evolving are really thin for some reason. There's like a lot of air in this. Bizarre. Yeah, I guess Worlds is coming up. I don't really entirely know how it works, but Worlds, as well as like other qualifiers throughout the country, are coming back in a live version, which is fantastic. I think we're finally at a point where it's getting better to where we can do this, and I know COVID restrictions are properly in place to keep everybody safe and happy at these events. Oh, Raihan full art, baby. Let's go. Ugh, super useful. Raihan is a fantastic supporter. When one of your Pokemon's knocked out, you can attach an energy wherever you like and choose any card from your deck. Super, super good, and I have not seen this in person. A lot of people like Raihan. I feel like he's almost at waifu status, right? I feel like people like him just as much as they like some of the other characters. That's pretty sweet. Okay, that's. I've been wanting more out of evolving. That was exactly what the doctor ordered. Hell yeah. So yeah, that's coming back, and I've been seeing a lot of discourse about people complaining about what to play at this. And I will say off the bat, oh my god, another hit. What the fuck is going on? I'm going to try to get as much out as I can. I know a lot of people are like, oh, keep it competitive. Don't play stupid meme deck BS. And I'm like, as long as you're, treating your opponent with respect, play whatever you want. And this is, the first live tournament we've had back. Honestly, if we had a weird run, I remember there's something with, a Kyogre that you couldn't knock out, winning Worlds in one time, it's kind of sad to say, but, some discourse might actually bring more people's attention to the thing. Obviously, be respectful, play against other people, but I feel like the current meta deck is just Mew, and it's just a match of whoever can get set up first, and it's kind of lame, so if we could play some other decks that can contest it and take it down and have, an underdog win something, I think that's a little bit more meaningful than just a bunch of mirror match Mew setups. I don't know. I don't think that sounds as exciting to me, honestly. That's not to say we should play a meme deck, but get creative, maybe use some other cards that not everybody's using. Try to trip up your opponents by using something out of the box or thinking of a new kind of play. That'd be more fun. I don't know. I think the best kind of decks are I was watching Little Dark Fury play a weird Stone Journer deck, and he took out 2 Mew decks back to back, just barely, and it was just so much more exciting than seeing the same play and seeing someone's hand get burned through an entire single turn, basically. It takes one turn to burn through your entire hand. It's kind of sad. So, I don't know, that's just my thing. As long as you're respectful to everybody else and everyone's having a good time, then hell, why shouldn't Durant win it and mill your opponent down to death? That'd be a little silly. I don't entirely hope that happens, but I just hope more decks, I don't know, what if a Glaceon popped up out of nowhere and took it? That's what we want to see. We all love an underdog story, and we all want to watch competitive things to see somebody pull a win out and get creative and get smart as opposed to just being on autopilot, pulling exactly what they need because they can't fail. I don't know. Maybe that's the way I see it. Let me know what you think, or if you're going to be participating in any tournaments or anything local to you, or how things are going, or what deck you're playing. Love to hear about it. Anyway, I'll do a little recap, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.